Welcome to Valley Viewpoint. I'm Roger Johnson. My guests are Austin Greer, Yvanna Hammen-Alvarez, and Orris. All of them are from Walla Walla University, and they're part of a outreach to children in Walla Walla. Austin, you're the leader, I understand.
Yep.
Talk to us about what this outreach is called.
So this outreach is called His Kids in Action. It's a club geared towards reaching the kids across from the Northside SDA Church in those neighborhoods. And His Kids in Action, basically the idea of the name is that all the children belong to God. You know, they're His children, and we are putting them into action, not only in getting to know Him more, but also slowly equipping them to bring their Jesus, into the world through their actions.
This is close to the penitentiary. Do you have kids that have any influence in any connections with the penitentiary?
Yeah, there are a couple, not too many, but I mean, with the neighborhood, you're bound to have kids who do have family members who are in the penitentiary, or whose families have some kind of connections to gang activity.
Yvanna, how did you find out about His Kids?
Well, my roommate freshman year was Kisa McCloskey, and
she is?
She is...
besides your roommate?
Besides my roommate. She is the co-leader or secretary of His Kids in Action. And she was very involved my freshman year, and I heard her talk about it almost every Sabbath that she'd come back to the room. And I thought, it sounds interesting, but I like my Sabbath afternoon naps, so I'll have to go next time. But then one time, she kind of kidnapped me, and we went, and I have gone almost every Sabbath since.
Oh, my. It sounds like kids and you work together all right, huh?
I would hope so.
Keep you awake from those Sabbath afternoon naps.
For sure.
And Day, how did you find out about this organization of reaching out to kids?
Yeah, one Sabbath I came back to the dorm, and it was around 2 p.m. And I was just sitting in the lobby when some His Kids staff came up to me, and they were like, "Oh, what are you doing this afternoon?" Didn't have any plans, so I just tagged along with them, and I totally fell in love with the family that we created from there. Yeah.
I like that phrase, that you totally fell in love with the family that you created there. And would you say that these connections are beyond us? How do the connections work, and how do the kids come? And you guys pray for kids?
Yes, I would say that the connections are definitely beyond us, because I was in this club my freshman year, and for the 2 years.
I didn't even ask how you got connected.
Yeah.
Your roommate or somebody?
Well, at the Welcome Back Bash that happens at the first Sunday of each school year, they have all the clubs go into the WEC, and people walk around and choose clubs. So I was looking for a ministry club, signed up, small group. It was only like maybe 5 staff. Same the following year, and it was getting smaller and smaller. So when it came my junior year and the other staff had graduated, we were rebuilding it, me and one of my other friends. And by winter quarter, something changed, and we just took off. Some more staff came into the group, and more kids, and it was something beyond me that God must have been orchestrating.
Through the influence of these two.
Yes, I mean, everyone has brought one or two.
Took off wings.
One or two fellow students, and invited them to join his staff.
And this is the T-shirt the kids recognize. If you wear this particular His Kids T-shirt, that means that you've been certified.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In more ways than one. Talk about what that means. What that shirt means to parents that are, I guess, willing to trust Walla Walla University students with. What kind of criteria are we talking about?
For becoming staff?
Absolutely. It's just not anyone that you want to have on the staff, is it?
Yeah, well, we invite friends who are interested in helping kids.
Yeah, along with that, I feel like, to answer your question of what do the parents think when they see these shirts, I would hope that they see someone who cares about their kids and cares about their hearts, and someone who just hopes to give them a little bit of heaven once a week.
And we'll talk about the reactions of your desire to present heaven to them once a week, and some of the response of these kids that you've heard with your own ears. What kind of qualifications do you have to be part of this club?
Yeah, so we do have a procedure for background checks. We use a program called Verified Volunteers, which is what the UCC uses.
And that is the
it's
UCC?
It's an online course that educates those who will be involved in a variety of ministries to spot abuse, to be aware of what is safe, what's not safe in work environments, how to address abuse when it is found to be occurring, where to go, and basically just developing in the staff a knowledge of how best to keep the safety for the kids who we're working with. So everyone does that.
So the Upper Columbia Conference, the UCC, does want anyone working with these minors to be educated as to what's appropriate and what is expected in that area. So when they see these shirts, you've been certified to do that. And but it's way beyond just the certification. What happens between what time on Saturdays? We haven't even talked about the time. What time do you meet?
We meet at Foreman Lobby at 2:10.
Oh.
So after we've
gear up here on the campus. Huh?
Yep.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's convenient for, well, I'm the only one here that's in the girls' dorm at the moment, but it's convenient for me to meet there for sure.
Yeah, it's a good central location. We all meet there and we carpool to the church. And we'll prep for 45 minutes or so and then go pick up the kids in the neighborhood at like 3-ish. Bring them back and we play, and then, well, why don't you guys tell them about the other things we do?
Yeah, we play games, and we usually have like a Bible lesson and skit, and have a craft or art piece that they do and they can take home, and snack time. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun to spend time with them and just have an afternoon where they can have fun and learn about Jesus.
And this is at the north side, 7th Adventist Church?
Yeah.
And I guess I don't see very many big buildings on that piece of property, so you're hoping for good weather most of the time?
Yes.
Or sometimes, how many kids, for example, do you have?
Well, at the most we've had on a day is 23, which is pretty
phenomenal. You didn't get a nap on that Sabbath.
Oh, no. No.
You know, a couple years ago when I first began, we had an average of like 5, maybe 6 kids.
So it was almost like a one-on-one mentoring experience, huh?
Yeah, so by this last year, it just really expanded to a minimum of 15 kids each Sabbath. And then we have a solid group of staff, 7 to 9, that come as well.
Talk to us about the kids. I suppose we're just using first names. You can talk about some of your... there are some kids that just happen to mesh well. Day, do you have somebody in the group that you have found especially close to, or?
They're all so precious, but one child in particular that just won my heart the very first day, like, her name is Jasmine, and she's so just willing to learn, and she's so enthusiastic with every song that we sing. She's like the loudest singer. She loves doing all the hand motions and things, and I just remember the first day I attended, she grabbed my hand when we were doing one of the Bible lessons, and she was like, I want you to sit next to me. And it's just those little moments where they choose you, and that they just touch your heart and totally make you feel welcome.
Jasmine is one of the more outgoing ones in the group. Do you have a comment about Jasmine?
Oh, I would say just very much yes. She is a very vibrant child and just loves life, and to every extent.
Does she do gymnastics on the asphalt?
She jumps around. You'll see her doing cartwheels and round off.
You brought a video here. I don't know. You choose when you want to present this video, but I don't know if you captured any of these kids that you were talking about.
Yeah, no, we didn't. I didn't capture it because usually I was right there with them, making sure they didn't hurt themselves.
Yeah.
Because I also coach gymnastics here at the university.
Oh, you do?
So yeah,
Oh, wow.
making sure they don't land on their heads
Yeah.
if they're exploring their abilities.
Well, maybe we can talk about how far does this organization go back? Now, obviously, you weren't here. That would
No.
be kind of like when you were born. Maybe something was happening.
Yeah, I'm not completely clear on exactly the year it started, but it does go back a couple decades, into the decades, which is pretty special to know that it has a sort of history with the Northside Church, but also that we are part of that history. And students at Walla Walla University have been involved with this for a handful of years now, and it just keeps going forward. God keeps tying it together, making it work.
We have just a minute or so. Maybe all three of you could just, even if you want to look at that mic, invite those that might be, maybe there's a grandparent that has some connections in that part of the world. This is near the penitentiary. This is houses on Edith and Carey and Pine, and I suppose at times you gather some kids from rather distant places, but that's time consuming too. But why don't you tell again when it meets, your phone number too, so they can get in touch with you. Okay?
Yes, so we meet Saturday afternoons from about 3 to 4 is when we're doing our program. And we'd love to have any kids who are wanting to do something on a Saturday afternoon, maybe any grandparents who are wanting an afternoon nap themselves. But we seek to nurture the kids in our community for their lives and for their relationships with God, whatever they're looking for and they're needing. And there is information that you can contact us through email, through a phone number that we can supply for you guys.
Why don't you share that? What's your phone number and your email?
Yes, Daleen is DALENE.Johnson, JOHNSON @wallawalla.edu. Ask her any questions you need, get any information that you're looking for, and we'd love to have you.
And I have the phone number for that too.
Yes.
It's area code 509-529-8251. 8251. We'll be right back, and we'll give you a taste on video about what this ministry's like. I'm talking with Walla Walla University students who are volunteers at the Walla Walla University sponsored club at the Northside 7th Adventist Church called His Kids in Action. Was that quite a run? Yeah.
Yeah.
His Kids in Action. And Austin, as the leader, you're doing some research, I understand, about what makes kids click in this culture.
Yeah. So every leader needs to have a certain perspective, certain vision. So I've been reading some different books, different articles on discipleship. I've had some of my own experiences in some discipleship courses, understanding what different types of people need to learn. Some need to be engaged physically, some need to ask questions, some just want the facts. So
hands-on, visual, kinesthetic type learning.
And at their age, that's kind of all of them. They all want to move their hands, do everything they can.
Yeah. And I believe the video that you have brought demonstrates that they like to move. Am I? Yes,
you'll see some of the interactive object lessons in there, teaching them some abstract ideas through concrete activities.
Anything else? Any other intro that you want to highlight before they see the video?
Be ready to smile a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have the video at this time. Wow, that was a video. And you did this on your own, Austin?
Yeah, you know,
with the cooperation of those that you were videoing, of course.
with technology nowadays, I just use my phone and
That
caught
was
those
all
special
from
moments.
your smartphone.
Yeah, sorry to ruin the magic, movie magic. And yeah, just recorded different moments that I appreciated.
Now, I believe are you theology and communications together?
Yes, I'm a theology major, film and television minor.
I see. That explains why that video was as it was. I suppose you kind of like to do this, and you're good, and you've been trained.
Yeah, I mean that was something, you know, on the go kind of stuff. But you know, every film with a story can have a special impact.
And your major, Yvonne?
I am an English major, hoping to be a high school teacher. Yes. So working with kids, starting now and for who knows how long.
And that's going to be shortly. Are you a junior or?
I'm a junior, but I have a few years left in me.
Yes, I've heard some education courses along the way sometimes can extend that, kind of like engineering majors, kind of extend it down a little bit. Oh, yes.
It's good though.
Oh.
I enjoy it here, and that gives me more time to be at his kids as well. So.
Hey, I like that sound, don't we, Austin? That
Yeah,
sounds great. You're a
very
leader.
much so.
Yeah, with the talent resource.
Yeah.
And we're looking for more volunteers, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
And this does not have to be Walla Walla University students, does it? This can be, we have some volunteers right now from the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They just have to be, you know, go through that computer, you know, kind of qualification and certification. But we're inviting the community to help out, huh?
Yeah, so we have a student from WAVA who's helping out.
And we have an older person, I think, that
yeah.
the food. I think I've heard rumors about the food.
The food.
She is older.
Yes, would you like to tell Pastor about
Yes, Connie is amazing. Without her, we would have absolutely not a lot.
I hope that she's going to be with us this year. Has anybody checked?
Yeah, I actually was talking with her over the summer.
Oh, good.
And she's excited for the next year.
Oh, I'm relieved because sometimes Daleen and I actually get in on some of that. That's wonderful. Day, what is your major? I didn't ask you.
Oh, yeah. I am elementary education major, and I'm also studying art, and I hope to, teach elementary or high school art. So I'm in my 5th year, graduating. This is my last year with his kids, but I'm really looking forward to all the things that we do this year with the kids.
Well, this is very close. You're secondary, hoping to teach secondary, but you're training in on the little ones right now. But you're elementary ed, so this is right in your training area with the art. Did you know that she's an art major?
I did. I witnessed her talent on the go. She done some improv painting and stellar stuff.
Stories. We have a few minutes to do some stories about. We've talked about a young lady by the name of Jasmine. Any other stories from the group?
Okay, let me try to think of one out of the many. Yes. Okay, one time we were doing a skit, but kind of interacting the kids in the skit, so allowing them to become part of the skit. And it was on the Last Supper with Jesus, and we had this long table made of wooden beams and who knows what else, with a lot of Connie's amazing food, and basically what we did was serve each other our meals. And I was sitting next to 2 siblings, and they just were ready to serve all of the food onto my plate, and it was just so beautiful to see how willing they were to serve.
I believe the Last Supper there was some hesitancy to serve, but the original one. And so you're saying that children were wanting to serve. They were looking forward to serving you.
Yeah, it was.
What a beautiful pattern to continue to sustain in their development to be of service.
It's very good to see them follow Jesus' example instead of the disciples.
Austin, was there was some bread creation, as I recall. Talk to us about that. What
was super
there?
cool. They saw that in the video. They were rolling out some dough. They got to make their own communion bread. So we had a staff at each little group, and they mixed their things together, rolled it out, cut it up, and Connie put it in the oven. And by the time we were ready to enter the Last Supper, it was piping hot right out of the oven, starting to cool just right to eat. And so we could go through that special meal that Jesus had with his disciples.
And that happened recently, didn't it? Last spring?
Yes, last spring. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Again, talk to us. Any more stories, Day? Any stories that you'd like to share?
I have one if you need some more time.
You can go for it.
Yeah. So kids are at all different stages in life, and they have all different environments, all different influences. And a lot of kids can grow up without the positive influences they need. So there's ways of living that they're totally unaware of. And one of those ways I got to talk with some of the boys about was their responsibility to the women in their lives.
The boys?
The boys.
The women in their lives?
The young boys.
You mean like mom and sister?
Mom and sister.
Really?
Yes. We had some cousins and some siblings there. So I talked with a few of the older boys in our age range and just asked them, have you ever heard about what kind of responsibility you have with your mother, your grandmother, your sister? And they're like, no, I don't know. So we just had a really simple, real conversation and just kind of empowering them on their way into manhood. Just sowing seeds.
Yeah.
Sowing seeds.
Sowing seeds for their
and
lives.
letting the Spirit water it.
So you sow seeds through a Bible story that you like to have. I noticed involvement with the kids. If it's appropriate to the story, they put on their robes or whatever they need to do to be involved with the story of the Bible.
Yeah, we get them involved as much as we can.
And they're singing.
Yeah. What kind of songs do we? What are their favorite songs?
What a friend we have in
Yes,
Jesus.
they love that one.
They love that.
That's one of their favorites.
And then the crafts that are related to the Bible focus that we're having, the topic.
Yeah.
We have just less than a minute, like 30 seconds. Talk to the audience again about how they can get in touch. You can repeat Daylene, who's the club sponsor. You can repeat her, Daylene.Johnson. How do you spell Daylene?
Daylene is DALENE.Johnson. which is JOHNSON @wallawalla.edu. Email her for any questions you have and find out more information on that.
And I can say the phone number of it's Daylene of 509-529-8251. I want to thank you, Austin, Yvanna, and Day, for joining us on Valley Viewpoint, talking about His Kids in Action. Thank you for joining us. I'm Roger Johnson.
Blue Mountain Television is a viewer-supported ministry. That means we rely on you to provide the funds to keep this ministry operational. To support this station, please send your tax-deductible gift to Blue Mountain Television, 1200 Southeast 12th Street, Suite 2, College Place, Washington, 99324. That's Blue Mountain Television, 1200 Southeast 12th Street, Suite 2, College Place, Washington, 99324. Thank you for your generous support.